A beautiful Monday morning to you. Welcome to Headlines Nigeria on ITI. Reaching you from our studios in Abuja, I am Grace Ukot with summaries of news making the headlines in our national dailies. We'll take a look at the first paper. Vanguard newspaper says Jonathan insists on May 29 handover. Politicians who either think the January 2011 polls might be postponed and those calling for the shift of the exercise don't need to dissipate energy on the issue. Reason: the matter is foreclosed. President Goodluck Jonathan does not want the handover to be later than May 29, 2011. Vanguard newspaper still, Senate Screens Juwah, NCC Boss Nominee, others today. There appears to be anxiety over who becomes the boss of the Nigerian Communications Commission as the presidential nominee for the post of the Executive Vice Chairman / Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Dr. Eugene Juwah, and 3 other commissioner designates, including the chairman, Mr. Peter Egbe-Igo, will today face the Senate Committee on Communications for a screening exercise, after which they will be confirmed. Still on the front page of Vanguard newspaper, a very sad one here. Ugly weekend. 7 die, 3 injured in Lagos. Tragedy struck in most parts of Lagos State over the weekend when 7 persons lost their lives in separate incidents, including an auto crash which claimed the lives of 4 traders and left 3 others seriously injured. Kwara Govt Expels 16 students over exam malpractice. Kwara State Government has expelled no fewer than 16 students from various secondary schools across the state in the ongoing SS1 promotion examination over examination malpractice, so as to discourage the scourge among the students. Nigerian Compass reports federal government releases 5 billion naira to PHCN workers. Ahead of their threat to throw the entire country into darkness from this morning via a strike they said they would embark on nationwide, the federal government at the weekend released 5 billion naira as part payment of the monetization arrears of electricity workers. And in the pages of next newspaper, we see corrupt judges should be investigated, says Akombi. Allegations of corruption leveled against judicial officers are real enough to warrant thorough investigation by anti-corruption agencies, says former chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Mustafa Akombi. Nigerian Tribune, Press Council Law, NPAN wins at High Court. A federal high court in Lagos has ruled in favor of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria over the Press Council law. The court therefore restrained the President, the Attorney General of the Federation, and the Minister of Information from implementing the said law. And now moving over to politics, next newspaper. Opposition cautions Alao Akala against traditional rulers. The Oyo State chapter of the Action Congress has cautioned the state governor, Adebayo Alao Akala, against the deployment of threats and intimidation to cow traditional rulers in the state into submission to his second-term bid. This day newspaper, Abia CJ raises panel for deputy governor's impeachment. The move to impeach the deputy governor of Abia State, Comrade Chris Akomas, is gathering momentum as the chief judge of the state, Justice Sunday Imo, has set up a 7-man panel to investigate the allegations contained in the impeachment notice of the State House of Assembly. 10 Northern governors move to back Jonathan. Ahead of Tuesday's meeting of the 19 Northern governors, the wave of support for President Goodluck Jonathan's alleged 2011 presidential aspiration in the North is on the upswing, though he has not officially declared his interest in the race. Nigerian Tribune 2011 resists extension of election timetable by IPAC. The Inter-Party Advisory Council has urged Nigerians to resist any attempt to extend the time constitutionally stipulated for Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct 2011 general election. And Punch newspaper, we see PPA apologizes to Abia governor. The leadership of the Progressive People's Alliance has apologized to Governor Theodore Orji of Abia State over the incidents that led to his defection from the party to All Progressive Grand Alliance. The chairman, PPA Board of Trustees, Mr. Imo Iboko, said the party under its former chairman, Mr. Larry Essien, derailed from the party's ideals. And now moving over to business, Punch newspaper. Federal government generates 400 billion naira from port concession. Investigation. The Nigerian Ports Authority may have scored above average in increasing its revenue profile through port concessioning, which was concluded 4 years ago. But port operators' litany of complaints ranging from high charges to high dwell time and poor infrastructure gives it a thumbs down. 1.5 billion naira pension bill. Federal government clamps down on fake pensioners. Worried by the huge amount being spent on retired workers as pensions, the federal government has initiated a scheme to fish out fake pensioners. And now Vanguard newspaper, Africa to close its market against EU goods. Africa Union Ministerial Committee on Thursday said that African countries were not ready to leave their markets open for the European goods. And now moving over to sports news. Next newspaper, Falconets make history. The Falconets of 2010 made history by beating the defending champions USA 4-2 on penalties and qualifying for a first ever semi-final slot in Nigeria's history. Coach tips national team for final. Super Falcons coach Eukaria Uche believes the Falconets have a fantastic chance of making it to the final of the ongoing FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, especially if they prosecute their next game in the manner in which they did after the halftime break of Sunday's quarter-final match against the United States. Vanguard newspaper, confusion over Chukwu's election. Christian Chukwu, arguably the greatest sports ambassador from Enugu State, on July 15, 2010, won election in the state to run for the Nigeria Football Federation elections. The election was free and fair. And with these stories, we wrap up today's edition of Headlines Nigeria. I am Grace Ukot. Thanks for logging on.